Hello once again, YouTube. This is Meme Skull, and I'm finally back with another deck profile. This time it is a Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile where I'll be showcasing my Speedroid deck. So let's start off with the main deck. Don't know why I'm holding up the extra deck. Yeah. So let's start off with the monsters. Self-explanatory. 3 copies of Terror Top. He is one of your starters. Very good for the deck. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. When this card is normal summoned or special summoned, add 1 Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand, except for Terror Top, and that is a hard once per turn. Yep. Next up, another starter, which some people have been playing down to 2, which I might consider doing. It's a Marble Machine. He is a level 2 pendulum monster with a pendulum scale of 1. Its pendulum effect is as followed. Once per turn when... Sorry for the glare. Once per turn when your defense position monster is targeted for an attack, you can change it to face up attack position. Also, it cannot be destroyed by battle this turn, even if this card leaves the field. And its monster effect is when this card is normal summoned, you can activate this effect, add 1 Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except wind monsters, and that effect is also a hard once per turn. So really good searcher on normal summon. And then we play 2 Daiko Duke, which allows for recursion from the graveyard. You banish him, special summon Speedroid tuner monster from your hand or graveyard. So it's really good, except for Duke, of course, but it allows us to extend our plays. Next we have 2 copies of Tucka Tomborg. I used to play this at 3, but I did find it kind of cloggy. If you control a wind monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You contribute this card, special summon 1 Speedroid tuner monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon for the monsters for the rest of the turn except wind monsters, and you can only special summon this guy once per turn. Next up, we're playing 2 Red Eye Dice. He's just a level manipulator, can change a level of one of our Speedroid monsters, except for himself, to 1 to 6 on normal or special summon. So that's really good. So we could just special summon him off a Duke from our hand or graveyard, and we'll just get our cork shooter out, and that lets us go full combo essentially. 1 copy of Ultra Hound. This was a great starter. I used to play it at 3. Now it's just useful at 1 because it is a normal summon effect. It's basically a Foolish Burial on legs on normal summon, and during the main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card, target 1 Speedroid monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, special summon 1 Speedroid Synchro monster from your extra deck with the same level but a different name, but negate its effects. So that effect, I rarely use that second effect, but it is a useful one nonetheless. Next we have some of the newer guys, are fairly new. They came out in, what's it called? Supreme Darkness, I believe. Yeah, Supreme Darkness. So we have Speedroid Colonel Clackers. He is essentially a level 7 synchro from the pendulum scale. When we put him in play in the scale, that automatically gets us our wing synchron to the other scale. So let me just read the effect in full. So for the pendulum scale, he is a pendulum scale 8, by the way. You can banish 1 Speedroid card from your graveyard, place 1 Speedroid pendulum monster from your deck to your hand, from your deck in your pendulum zone. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except wind monsters. You can only use this effect of Clackers once per turn. So you could pendulum summon before you use the synchro effect of the wing synchron, His monster effect, by the way, is if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Clackers as a tuner from your hand, deck, or graveyard. During damage calc, if your Clear Wing Synchro monster battles while this card is face up in your extra deck, you can banish this card, and if you do, that monster gains 700 attack. You can only use each effect of this guy once per turn. So again, really useful. Next up, we have the one Wing Synchron, which could be arguably put to 2. I see a lot of people play at 1, so I'm testing it out like that. So far, so good. I have played a few games where I needed a second one because either I used up the first and I had no means of like recurring the initial one that I used. So he is a level 5 Machine Pendulum Tuner effect monster with a pendulum scale of 4. Once per turn, you can destroy this card and one level 2 Wind Pendulum monster card in your pendulum zone. And if you do, special summon one Clear Wing Synchro Dragon from your extra deck. This is treated as a synchro summon. Also, for the rest of this turn, cards in your pendulum scales cannot be destroyed by card effects, and you cannot special summon except wind monsters. So essentially, it prevents you from doing that over again if you manage to get them back in your scales. So you can't really abuse it. And yeah, another thing I always forget to do, I forget to use Klecker's effect when he gets destroyed off of the Synchron. I could special summon another one from anywhere, well, except the Pendulum Zone, extra deck. My bad. So yeah, those two are fun new additions to the deck, and that is the wrong side. Okay, so next up for the 1-ofs, we're playing one card Turbo. It's just an extender. He special summons himself if we control a wind monster, and we can banish him to give our wind monsters a little boost. Him and another Speedroid. Next we have Double Yo-Yo. It's another normal summon trigger. You can target one level 3 or lower Speedroid monster in your graveyard, special summon it. It's really good. Especially with the additional normal summon from the Link monster. Next we play 3 copies of Wind the Wind Channeler. Always want any means to search and deck thin as possible. That is very useful for grave setup. We could send our Duke to the grave with her and then add something that would help us start us off. Next up we have some hand traps, kaijus, and not really a hand trap, but like get rid of a problematic monster if we need. It's searchable in the deck because it's wind. We can search it off of wind. 2 Ash Blossoms. My bad. Grabbed the wrong amount. 3 Ash Blossoms. My bad. 2 Effect Failures. And those are the monster hand traps, and that rounds up the monsters. Now moving on to the spells, we play 2 copies of Speedroid Reel. I did play this at 3, but the discarding costs usually sometimes you run through your cards fast in this deck. So you want to be careful when you see this. Plus this is based on a dice roll, so it's good sometimes, especially if you get like a 4, 5, or 6. If you get a 1, Speed Recovery, it's just a monster reborn. Unfortunately, it cannot be searched in this deck. So, yeah. Just gotta hope you draw it. Speedroid Scratch, we got 1 copy of this. This is a Foolish Burial for Speedroids. What? No, it's not. You send 1 Speedroid card from your hand to the graveyard. Add 1 Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 scratch per turn. So it's a setup, and you get something in exchange. So you decked in as well. 1 Call by the Grave. And for the back row hate, we're playing 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 1 copy of Lightning Storm, and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. For the traps, 3 infinite impermanents, 1 duplicate, and 1 Speedroid Clear Wing Wonder. So for these last 2 spells, actually, let me show you what they do. Duplicate, what this does, it lets you banish 1 wind monster from your graveyard, then target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. During your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 level 2 or higher Speedroid monster you control, reduce this level by 1, and if you do, special summon this card as a normal monster, machine, tuner, wind, level 1, attack 0, defense 0. This is not treated as a trap. You can only use this effect of duplicate once per duel. And then Wing Wonder, one of the newer cards, target cards your opponent controls up to the number of different monster types among the wind synchro monsters you control. Destroy them. If your opponent special summon a monster or monsters, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target 1 wind synchro monster you control, banish it, then return it to the field. You can only use each effect of Wonder once per turn. So it's destruction and it's evasion as well when it's in the graveyard. So that rounds up the main deck, totaling out 44 cards, I believe. Now going on to the extra deck, we're playing 2 copies of the new Crystal Clear Wing over Synchro Dragon. Is their new level 12 synchro monster. Dragon synchro effect. He needs two or more tuners, or 1 tuner synchro monster plus Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. Must be synchro summoned once per turn. When another card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. And if you destroyed a monster, this card gains attack equal to that monster's original attack until the end of this turn. So it's an Omni Negate, and it has the Crystal Wing attack gain ability. If this face-up synchro summon card in its owner's control leaves the field, or by an opponent's card, so by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 Clear Wing monster from your extra deck. So it floats into another guy, which is very good, because sometimes the other guy that we'd be floating into is Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. He is not as good as the other, but he does have his uses. He's level 10. He requires 1 tuner synchro monster and 1 non-tuner Clear Wings monster. Let's see here. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, except during damage step, quick effect, you can activate this effect until the end of this turn. This card is unaffected by the activated effects of your opponent's monsters. Also, this card gains attack equal to the opponent's monster's original attack once per turn. When a solid trap card or effect is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If the synchro summon card you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you can add 1 wind monster from your deck to your hand. So it floats into something as well, adding it to your hand instead of summoning it, which is good. Allows for follow-up plays if that plan fails. We're playing 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, despite us being able to go into 2 in this deck. I feel like 1 is a good number. Kite Drake, very good card. Helps you like wipe out the field, so very, very useful when you're in a pinch. 2 copies of Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, because you go through these like crazy in this deck. 1 Clear Wing Fast Dragon. 1 Adamantipator Risen Raptite. one Hagoita. This is very good. Summons itself back if we control a tuner, and it allows for level manipulation on our opponent's side to mess up their plays if they're playing Synchro or any XZ shenanigans. Next we have Glider 2, another new guy. He requires one wind machine tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. If this card is synchro summoned, you can target one level 7 or lower wind non-tuner synchro monster in your graveyard, special summon it. If your opponent special summons a monster or monsters and you control a clear wing monster, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard, increase the levels of all monsters your opponent controls by 5. You can only use each effect of this guy once per turn. Again, a level manipulator from the grave, mess up your opponent's plays. Next we have two copies of Cork Shooter, because it's a good combo piece, and I do also see myself running through this like really fast. So what it does is it is a level 3 machine synchro tuner effect monster. It requires one tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. If this card is synchro summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Add one Speedroid spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, or if all monsters that were used for this guy's synchro summon were Speedroids, so you summon them all back from the graveyard if they were sent to the graveyard. So you usually do not want to use your pendulum monsters for his summon. And lastly, we have 2 copies of Rubberband Shooter. This provides us with an extra normal summon of a wind monster, and also lets us thin out our deck, grab 2 guys, and then our opponent randomly picks one for us to add to our hand, and the other goes to grave at the cost of banishing a synchro monster, and their levels have to equal that monster's level. Now for the side deck, we have 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. Again, the side deck can be whatever you want it to be. It all depends on preference and the meta, but this is what I'm playing. I play casually with my friends. Get that another copy of Godala in there, another copy of Hound, and Wing Synchron. Again, if I were to play competitively, these 3 would be out, and I'd put in the funny Dominus trap card in here. 3 copies of Dark Ruler or more. That we usually want to go second, shut up our opponent's board, hopefully board wipe it, and slow them down while we make our plays. 3 dimensional barrier. Hopefully our opponents are not playing synchros, and then we just shut them off. And Gravity Collapse, which is a very nasty counter trap. When our opponent would summon a monster or monsters, send one face-up synchro monster you control to the graveyard. Negate the summon, and if you do, destroy that monster. And your opponent cannot summon a monster until the end of this turn. So that just unfortunately turns off their entire turn to get any board presence, which is very good, especially going first. So yeah. So if you suspect your opponent is gonna make you go first, then you're gonna want to hit him with that. So that rounds up my Speedroid deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Comment down below what your favorite synchro archetype is. I know Krishrons have been seeing a lot of play recently in the meta. Haven't been too up to date on that. Honestly, in my opinion, is a hot take. Say we could technically get Halka Fibrex back if he was limited to only Krishrons. If he required 2 Krishron monsters, only summoned a Krishron from the deck, right, and then locks you into Krishrons, it would be perfectly fine to come back. And then the same with Verte Anaconda, locks you into Predaplants. Requires 2 Predaplant monsters. Yeah, sure, it might not see play, but it would help predator plants a lot, and they could essentially see play and be coming off the ban list if they were to be eroded in that way. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video.